Gold gained ground this Tuesday, but it's still on track for its biggest decline in 6 months. Here to make sense of it all is Todd Bubba Horowitz. He's the chief market strategist with BubbaTrading.com. Todd, good to have you back on with us.
Great to be here, Daniela.
So looking at gold, it's up 1.5% today after hitting a 3.5-month low. Where is it headed from here? What is your gut telling you?
Well, I think gold's got a little bit of a problem here just because of all the data that's going to come out this week. I think you've got Mario Draghi on Thursday. You've got the jobs on Friday. You've got the Fed that wants to raise rates. And if they do raise rates, it will put some immediate pressure on gold because the dollar will rally. However, my gut feel is I want to start buying here. As we talked about last time I was with you, I think 1,200 is a great level to look at. Now we're at about 1216, 1217. I think if you're a buyer of gold, this is a great spot to start buying. I wouldn't initiate my entire position here because we could go a little bit lower, but certainly I'm definitely a bull gold or whatever. I think it's going higher, and I'm looking for spots to buy, and I think this would be a good spot to step in.
But for the longer term investor, these gold dips, might be buying opportunities. But what about for the short term investor? What's the best play for them?
I think if you're a trader and you're more active, I think you want to wait for 1,200. We're pretty oversold here, Daniela. The problem is when you look at on a trading standpoint from a technical basis, we've really come straight down from 1,300. So we're really due a pretty good dead cat bounce. So I would look for a bounce under any circumstances, probably back to 1,230 or 1,240 under any circumstances. And then you want to look at that 1,200 level and then a little bit below there. So if you're short-terming it, you want to look at 1,200. Somewhere down here, we're going to get a bounce. I will just about guarantee it.
Well, do you really think it's the increased expectations of a rate hike and the U.S. dollar which are pressuring gold, or is something telling you there might be something else at play?
Well, as you know, I believe that the Fed and the central banks are one big Ponzi scheme anyways. So as I look at and watch this manipulation of all the central bankers, I mean, in my eyes, they're almost colluding together to create an environment that exchanges values. And when you see the dollar starting to pop, and because of the rate hike, I think that this is part of their grand scheme plan, but I do believe that markets themselves will eventually take over. And the more they talk about some of the negative interest rate policies around the world, the more value that actually puts towards gold, because you'd much rather hold a hard asset than a fiat currency into this uncertainty of an environment that we have right now. So my views is that a lot of this is done through the manipulation of the central banks, through the Ponzi scheme that they've created, through the creating new money to satisfy all debt. I mean, you saw Abe wants more currency to be made up now, which again, Japan's been doing it for 30 years. It has not worked. So I think that in these levels here, gold is a great investment. I think that although it's being manipulated right now because of the dollar, I think eventually it goes higher.
All right, Todd, just some quick thoughts on silver. I know you preferred over gold, but the metal's downtrend trend remains strong here. What's silver's next move?
I think silver goes higher. I think, look, you put silver in your pocket, you forget about it, you forget you own it. You continue to buy every time you have a little bit of extra money. You just buy it because, again, it's a big industrial metal. It's going to be real big in the solar space as well. If we ever get to solar energy, silver is going to be a huge component there as well. So it's a precious metal and an industrial metal. I say you keep buying it. Buy little bits at a time, but be prepared that it could go much higher. And I think eventually we'll see it much higher.
Thanks, Bubba.
Thank you, Daniela.
And thank you for watching. We've got Kitco's Global Trading Director, Peter Hugg, up next.